Hi and welcome to my little apartment tour. Hello, my name is Karina and this is my very first YouTube video. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm really excited too because I've gotten so many requests on my Instagram asking for a apartment tour, so I figured it was finally time to do so. Yeah, today I'm going to show you around my house. I do have a cold, so I hope my voice will pull through. I have my tea with honey here, so I hope that will help, but bear with me. A little bit of background. I live in the Netherlands in this town called Dordrecht. It's one of the oldest cities in the Netherlands, and that's also why I chose to live here, because I just love old cities. I love feeling like I'm in a different time when I walk through the streets, and I definitely have that here, which makes me love this place so much. My apartment is also really old. I'm not exactly sure what year it is from, but it has really authentic old features, and it also has mice, which is usually a sign that it's old, but I've learned to live with them. And I just really enjoy living here, and I've really made the space my own, which is the most important thing to me. I cannot live in places that do not feel like home, and I always put in the effort. It is a rental, so I'm limited as to what I can do with the space, but so far I've always been able to make do with what I could do. I don't know what I would call my style. I think it's sort of a mix between eclecticism, mid-century, Versailles. I always say that I want my home to feel like this old Parisian cafe that you can just sit down with a cup of coffee and where you can read books all day and you hear like some classical music in the background. That's the vibe I want my home to give, and for me it does give that, and that makes me so happy. Okay, enough talk, time to show you around. Of course, we have to start with the eye catcher of the room, which is my bookshelf. I have books scattered all around my house, but this is like the main place where I collect my books, and they are sort of mid-century style shelves. I think it's called track shelving in English, I'm not sure. Under the shelves we have my dining table, which is also a storage area for books, because you can never have enough storage area for books. On this table I have my most immediate TBR, so the books I want to get to first, and just a pile of books that are too pretty to be on the shelves and they need their little own moment of attention. Like, for instance, I have Florence Welch's book From Florence and the Machine, and it's so beautiful. It has all her lyrics in there and just poetry and art she did and paintings. It's the most stunning book ever. I have the illustrated edition of Just Kids by Patti Smith, which was honestly a really unnecessary buy because I already own Just Kids and this was so expensive, but I love that book, so I needed to have it. And then I have two books about witchcraft in art, because anything about witchcraft I will buy. I don't have a very organized system in which I organize my books. I usually just organize them on genre, so the bottom shelf is all non-fiction, and then we just have two shelves of literary fiction, and then up here I also have all the classics together. So there's a system, it's just a messy system. And then in other spaces in my house I also have my poetry books, my short story collections, and a little shelf in the corner where I have my fantasy and sci-fi books. So here is the other bookshelf where I keep my fantasy and sci-fi, mostly fantasy because I don't really like sci-fi. Yeah, there's just too many books. Even on the side of this bookshelf there's a pile growing because it just doesn't fit anymore. But I kind of like the look of having book piles everywhere, so I don't mind too much. Also, don't look at my kitchen. It's so ugly. And then on top of this bookshelf I also have some of my favorite decorative pieces. First of all, I have my Tiffany lamp, which is the absolute love of my life. I found it at a thrift store a few months ago for only like 30 euros, I think. And I love it so much. I can't actually turn it on because there's no outlet here, unfortunately, but it looks cute either way. I also have my stone tarot card books. I dropped that right after I got it, which almost made me cry. Yeah, I'm not a very good tarot card reader, but I just like having them around for when I need them. And I also have a very beautiful old globe here, which I got from my grandparents. It was actually theirs, and when I was at their house I asked them where they got it, because I wanted a globe just like that, and they were like grandparents are, they were like, oh no, just take it, take ours. I was like, no, but they insisted, and now it has a very prime spot in my apartment. This is the corner where I put my reading chair that I actually never read in, but it's fine, it looks nice, so it's okay. This mirror I absolutely love. I got this in Paris last time I was there, in this little boutique, and I want more heart-shaped things like that. I have this new obsession with heart-shaped things. This one is just perfect. This is a bamboo cabinet that I also got from a thrift store. Everything in my house is thrifted except for my couch. Something I really love is my interior design books. I love flipping through those and getting inspiration from them. My favorite is the one on the top. It's called Would You Like to See the House? And it's by this designer called Lorraine Kirk. And she is the absolute queen of maximalism. I love her designs so much, and this book gave me so much inspiration for my own home. So if you love maximalism as well, definitely check this out. Another eye catcher in my home is definitely the gallery wall. I think the gallery wall is kind of where it all started for me in terms of decorating my home the way I wanted it to. Because, I don't know, I have never really seen a gallery wall like this in anyone's home. And I remember putting on more and more frames and my parents coming in like, what's going on? Like, how many more frames are you going to put on there? And I was like, all of that. The entire wall, it needs to be frames. I just like the idea of having your own museum. Like, a lot of the prints that I have in the frames here mean something to me. Whenever I visit a museum on vacation or just in the Netherlands, I always take one of the prints that I love. So that way I just sort of have my own collection of souvenirs on the wall. Here is my vinyl player. I actually don't use it that much. It's a really cheap one from the thrift store, of course. So the sound isn't great, but I just think it looks nice in the house. And there's only one vinyl that I actually bought new, and that is Fleetwood Mac. But other than that, I don't really buy any vinyls because they cost a lot of money and I'd rather buy books. But I would love to have a great vinyl collection one day. And I do love the sound of a vinyl player, like it's just so cozy. Also, as you can see, this plant is kind of having a hard time right now. I've had it for years and it did well for years, and I don't know why it suddenly decided to die on me. I think I may need to change the pot or the dirt. Oh look, my dying plant. Whenever I'm home alone, I always have ambience videos playing on my TV. I just love the sound of chatter or just human noises in the background when I read. It makes me help stay focused way more, and it's just nice when you live alone to sort of hear a sound of life, you know? Then the part that most people mention when they see my home, and that is my window seat. It's definitely why I chose this apartment. I came in and I saw this window seat and I just saw myself sitting there with a book and a cup of coffee. And I knew I had to have it, and that's exactly what I do like every Sunday morning. When I wake up, I take my cup of coffee, I take a book and I sit there and sort of watch the street awaken. And it's just so nice and calming. I also keep some books here. Here I keep my poetry collections and my short story collections. I have the book that I am currently reading here. It's Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez, and it's so good. I was reading it this morning and I kind of didn't want to stop, but I had to film this video, so I had to stop. But I want to continue reading so bad. Absolute masterpiece. Lastly, in my living space we have my little desk area. I work from home most of the time. I am a freelancer, so it's good to have a nice space at home where I can sit and work all day. I have this sort of mid-century 60s desk. I'm not sure what time period it's from, but I knew I wanted a retro desk, so I went out and got one at a thrift store. Of course, I have the same purple wallpaper that I have in every other corner of my home. And yeah, this is just where I sit and work all day. Lastly, we also have my big mirror here, which is just very useful for taking outfit photos or checking my outfit, but it also helps to sort of bounce back the light into the rest of the room, because as you saw, my dinner area is quite dark, so having a big mirror here really helps reflecting that light and make it all a bit brighter. This is my bedroom. It's definitely not as pretty as my living room, but I think it's fine the way it is. I would love to paint it someday because there's very little color in here, and as you've seen, I love color. So I want to paint the walls purple probably, but so far I haven't found the energy to do it yet. I just put up some frames and decorated my headboard with some flowers, and I think it looks quite cute. So that was it. Those were all the corners in my apartment that I could show you. The rest is ugly, so we're gonna ignore those. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you want to see any other videos from me. I don't know if I'm going to make YouTube a regular thing, but I would love to make more videos if you guys want to see anything. So please let me know. I do have another really fun video coming in which I'm going to unbox oddity mystery boxes. So definitely keep an eye out for that one and subscribe if you want to see that one. For now, this was my home tour and see you in the next one. Bye!